Hey everybody, it's Felisa, and if you should happen to see me, I'm going to try and do this video as a voiceover because I do look a hot and complete mess, but I want to make sure that I'm staying on top of AVADIM and getting this video out for Spotlight Sundays. So this video is going to be dedicated to Kierra Cole, who disappeared from the Southside of Chicago in October of 2018. And because she has not been missing for a year, which is the criteria for the Charlie Project, I'm going to have to kind of piece together some news articles and then, give my perspective at the end. So please bear with me. I definitely wanted to spotlight this particular case because at the time of her disappearance, Kierra was approximately 3 months pregnant. And much like the case with Ollie Gilmore in Tallahassee, it just baffles my mind that, a pregnant woman would go missing and there's, not the level of press that's generated for her as a woman of color as was, say, a Lacey Peterson. And please don't misunderstand what I'm saying when I say that. Lacey deserved to have all the coverage in the world. Her family deserved to have the peace and the closure, even if it was not the closure that they desired, with the discovery of Lacey and her unborn infant, Connor, I believe that she had named him. But women of color don't garner the same type of press and they don't garner the same type of consideration. And so largely their cases are relegated to the back burner. And, it is what it is. So it is my desire to use my platform, as I indicated before, to try and spotlight women of color who have gone missing. And so this case definitely is a special kind of concern because Kierra, at the time of her disappearance, as I said, was 3 months pregnant. Anyway, so Kierra Cole was last seen October the 2nd, 2018, leaving her apartment on the south side of Chicago. She was 3 months pregnant at the time. Her father, Joseph Cole, told Dateline that his daughter was excited to be a first-time mother. I saw her a couple of weeks before she went missing. Joseph, who lives in Wisconsin, said she was happy to be pregnant. The day she disappeared, Kierra called out sick from her job as a letter carrier at the U.S. Postal Service. Surveillance video would later show Kierra leaving her apartment at 82nd Street and Coles Avenue and walking past her car. She is seen wearing her U.S. Postal Service uniform despite having called in sick. A few days later, according to the NBC Chicago, Kierra's mother, Karen Phillips, became concerned when she hadn't heard from Kierra, and calls to Kierra's phone were going straight to voicemail. Karen called the Chicago PD 2 days later to report her daughter missing. Police went to Kierra's apartment to conduct a welfare check. Kierra was nowhere to be seen, but her car was still parked out front. She wouldn't go this long without talking to me, Kierra's mother, Karen, told local media 2 weeks after Kierra was seen. We talk every day. She would not have me worrying like this. In the months since Kierra's disappearance, authorities have searched areas in and around the city of Chicago. Anthony Gulmini, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Chief Communications Officer at the Chicago PD, said there have been no signs of life since Kierra is seen. And I want to interject that, I'm going to assume that signs of life, like I don't know what signs of life means, but I would have to surmise that means no signs of activity. So no activity on her debit card, her credit cards, no activity on her cell phone, which for obvious reasons that is, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. No activity on her social media, no resurfacing, no returning to her apartment. So I'm assuming that that's what's meant by signs of life. I just want to make sure that I clarify that. Kierra's father, Joseph, told Dateline that his daughter's phone and prenatal vitamins were found in her car. Since Kierra's disappearance, Joseph said that he has quit his job in Wisconsin and have moved to Chicago to search day and night for his daughter. I'm trying to stand out here and stay strong for my daughter and my grandbaby, he said. I do my daily routine. I pass out flyers, trying to get the word out. There's a lot of love in this family. There is no way in hell that she would run away. Authorities, who Kierra's father is confident will get answers in his daughter's case, told Dateline that they too suspect foul play in the young woman's disappearance. We have a pretty good idea of what transpired. Now it's a matter of finding evidence, the chief told Dateline. We are out of the opinion business. We base everything we do on fact and evidence. A detective's personal opinion, quite frankly, does not matter. The chief said police know there is a minimum of 2 or 3 people of interest who were the last to see Kierra before she disappeared. We've narrowed down our group here to personal associates of hers, a friend who was one of the last people to see her, he told Dateline. The chief declined to comment on the person's name, how Kierra knows them, or the other associated people of interest. We haven't found her yet, and that puts us in a difficult position. Joseph says that he is holding on to hope that his daughter is alive. I just want the world to know I love my baby and my grandbaby. It will be closure to know my baby is safe and home. That will be the blessing of a lifetime, Joseph said. The way the situation is now, I'm keeping hope because there are young women who have been missing for longer than Kierra has, and they've been found safely, so I'm keeping hope. The U.S. Postal Inspection Services is offering an award of up to $25,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Kierra. Additionally, the National Association of Letter Carriers is offering a $3,500 for a reward for information on Kierra's whereabouts. Kierra Cole is described as being 5'4" tall and weighing about 125 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes. Kierra has a tattoo of a heart on her right hand and a tattoo that says Lucky Libra on her back. Kierra would be approximately 8 months pregnant today. Anyone with information on Kierra's whereabouts is asked to call the Chicago Police Department Area South Special Victims Unit at 312-747-8274 or the U.S. Postal Inspection Office at 877-876-2455. And that was an article that was written by NBC News, and that ran back in March of 2019. Now, I do want to stress that, we are now in May, and Kierra, as of last week, for what I read, for all of the news articles and published reports, Kierra has missed her birth deadline, and she would have given birth within the last couple of weeks. So she would be extremely overdue, which of course causes concern for her family and loved ones because, if she is still alive, where is she? Where's the baby? Etc., etc. I do want to say that I have read several published reports on many different outlets that have suggested that the family has debunked that it was actually Kierra that was on the surveillance video. I believe that I read or that I saw a video that the family watched the video of the supposed postal worker that walked past Kierra's car and very clearly and very assuredly indicated that was not Kierra. That was on the video. So, the woman in question, from what I saw, had been interviewed and had no connection to Kierra's disappearance, had no knowledge of Kierra's disappearance, and more importantly, was not Kierra. So that brings us, of course, to this baffling question: what happened to her? Why did she call out sick on the day that she went missing? What did she ultimately intend to do? Why would she leave her only communication device in her car? Her prenatal vitamins I could see because, as a mother of 4, we recognize that, we're not taking prenatal vitamins all day, every day. You take those in the morning or, whenever your set time is to take them, and then you forget about it. It's a once a day kind of thing. So the prenatal vitamins being found in the car is not necessarily a cause of concern for me, but her cell phone, being out, being pregnant, being a female, being, by themselves on the Southside of Chicago or any major city. I don't want to call attention to the Southside of Chicago as if it's some anomaly. But, just not having a way to communicate. So, I don't know if that indicates that she forget that phone in the car, accidentally and, then something happens to her, or if that was her habitual practice. I don't see it being a habitual practice simply because Mom said that she talked to her each and every day. So you need your phone in order to be able to do that. So I'm thinking that she may have gotten out the car in haste or, even gotten out the car briefly, and with the indication that she was just going to leave things in the car and she was going to come right back and something happened to her, or she got out the car and it was a mistake. Either way, I don't think that was intended to be like a long-term thing. Second of all, there was some conversation with the mom way back when Kierra first disappeared back in October. And of course, they were looking at, the boyfriend and seeing if he was somehow involved. And I think that at the time, the mom was non-committal. Like, she wasn't necessarily saying that the boyfriend was involved, but she wasn't necessarily saying that he wasn't. Her whole perspective was, I need to find my baby. Like, I don't care who they look at. I don't care who's ruled in, who's ruled out, as long as the Chicago PD does their due diligence and looks at suspects comprehensively, and anybody that's ruled out should be able to be excluded from having anything to do with Kierra not being here. As a matter of fact, Mom said that she said, quote, "We're not singling anybody out. We know he's going to be a suspect, but as far as people putting his mother, his kids, all this stuff up in there, that's just not right. We're not asking nobody to do that. That's just not the type of help that we're looking for." So, I know that this has been a difficult situation and a difficult process for all involved, particularly her mother. I cannot imagine, what that must feel like, but I did want to come and do this video, even though it feels like it's super incomplete, because there's so many unanswered questions about Kierra, about that last known day, and about where her whereabouts could possibly be right now. But I did want to come out and do this case for Spotlight Sunday, because she is, a young mother to be missing from the Southside of Chicago, and has been missing for quite a few months. Her due date has come and gone, so we don't know where that little baby is. We don't know where she is. We don't have, any kind of resolution. And so as a mom, I feel so deeply for her mother, for this not knowing, not just for one life, but for two lives. I think that it's important to be able to bring these people home, to bring these young ladies home, to be able to give their family the closure that they so richly deserve. If you have any information on Kierra Cole's, anything at all, please make sure that you contact the Chicago PD Southside, or you can contact the Postal Inspection office. I will leave both of those numbers up at the end of this video. You can report that information anonymously. There is a reward on both sides, from the Chicago PD and from the Postal Carriers Union, I believe it is. I think that's like $3,500. Either way, reward money notwithstanding, please call in with whatever tips or whatever information that you have, just because it's the right thing to do. Please bring a daughter home to her family, because they love her and they miss her. This is the case of Kierra Cole's. Again, if you have any information, please reach out. If you have any corrections to the story, please leave them below. I'll make sure that I at least insert that in the description, and I will talk to y'all later on. Happy Soulful Sunday. Bye.